Yo, what's going on everybody? It is Danny here from TheDartsReferee Darts and welcome to episode 1 of Path to Pro. This is the series where I'll be documenting and vlogging my journey moving from an amateur player at a beginner level all the way up to hopefully one day stepping on that stage at Ali Pali. Firstly, I want to say big thanks for the support on the last video. You guys blew it up. I asked for 50 likes, we smashed that. With that said, if you can, please smash that like button below. It really helps me out. And if you're a fan of the darts, be sure to subscribe. But with all that out of the way, let's get into today's video. First, we have to get our tour card. In this video, I'm going to take you through the steps it takes to become a pro, as well as showing you a little bit of practice footage and my whole plan for the year ahead at the end. Firstly, what does it take to become a professional darts player? Well, you have to have a pro tour card. And to get that, you need to go to Q School. To find out how to get a tour card, I go over that and how much it costs specifically in my latest video. Go check it out, which is Q School 2023, everything you need to know. So the current professional dart players, they make it look easy. They don't miss very often, and when they do miss, the margins are very, very slim. If you've ever picked up a dart, it may look very easy looking at the television, but you know just how skilled those players are when you finally step up to the hockey. Now, darts is a sport that's grown in popularity year on year, with it really taking off during the pandemic because of course it's a sport that can be played at home by yourself. And unlike a lot of other sports, you can practice real game-like scenarios in the comfort of your own home. At the end of the day, even if you're up there on the stage, you are still playing yourself against the board. So with the rise in popularity, there are a lot of people thinking of taking up darts as a hobby. The role and goal of this series is to document and show you guys exactly what it takes to become a professional darts player. So now that I've taken you through what it actually takes to become a professional player, let's have a little look at my stats so far throughout the year. So I started playing in February of 2022, and that's when I started tracking all of my averages. And I've tracked everything. My hours played, my 180s hit, my highest finishes, my highest averages those weeks, everything. The long and the short of it is, this is where I started. I started off at a low 40s average, which is pretty much where most people start after a few weeks of playing darts, and slowly gradually built that up consistently with some pitfalls along the way to about where I am now, which is a 71 average. Is this anywhere near a professional standard? No. Ideally, to become a professional, like I explained in the video about Q School, you want to be averaging consistently 85 to 90 plus. And my goal is to become a professional by the end of 2024. So my hope is that hopefully by the end of next year I'm averaging into the low 80s, maybe mid 80s, and the year after that I'm averaging into the low 90s. If you can do that consistently even in tournaments, there's no reason why you can't push on and potentially get a pro card. So what does my plan look like? Well, my plan involves my practice schedule, which I'll go over in more detail in the next video. But to make it simple today, that involves a practice session of between 30 to 60 minutes on average every single day. That may not seem like a lot to some people. They may say you need to practice more or less, but I'm very consistent with my practice. I am also a firm believer in quality of practice over quantity. I understand as I get into more professional settings and I go into longer games, I will need to throw for longer and longer. But the first few months of this year will be focused on primarily practicing 60 to 90 minutes every single day. In the past year, I've focused a lot on playing online games, mainly through the GDL, which are an awesome organization, and I'll leave their link to join in the description. And no, they're not paying me for that, by the way. Although the online game is fantastic and has really helped my game, this year I want to get into the INDO circuit a little bit, as well as hopefully go over to the UK for a few ADC events. Explain more about all these organizations as we go on throughout the series. At the end of the day, this is just the first and hopefully many episodes where I take you hopefully around the country as well as around Europe, traveling to play some darts. Vlog every little bit of my training. That's any games I play, any online games, any meetups, anything that's darts related, as well as lifestyle stuff you're going to find on this channel. If you're following from TikTok, you probably know how passionate I am about darts, how much I love the community, and how much I'm very grateful for every single one of you to following along my journey so far, whether that be by watching my videos, commenting, my predictions, whatever it may be. So, before we go today, I'm going to show you a little bit of practice from the other night. And in this session, I did a little bit of practice, which I'm going to do a voiceover for now. So, this practice session was short and sweet. I think it took me between 30 to 45 minutes. It's all I had available that day. And the whole point of this was just to get 4 quick games in against computer, just to throw. I hadn't warmed up or anything. I just said, you know what, I'll go straight in. And here you're seeing pretty much the last, I think, 2 games, the last 10 legs or so, sped up in 5 times speed. And you can see roughly what my throw is like and also where I'm aiming. Now, thankfully, I got a new Blade 6 triple core from Argus, which arrives hopefully while I'm recording this today or tomorrow. If not, either way, you should be in the next video, make an appearance at some stage. I'll be doing these hopefully every week or every, week and a half, maybe 2 a week if they go really well. But this wasn't a great session by any means. It was just a standard session. I think I'll put my averages up after this. Out of these games, I think I averaged 65, 69.8, 69.8 and 74. So all in all, it averages out to about my average at the moment, which is 71 over the course of the 4 games. Only hit 180 in this 30 minutes, which you will see in a minute or so. But with all this being said, I think the biggest thing when it comes to practice, there's a 140 that's gone in there. When it comes to practicing, it really is just getting consistency in your practice schedule. I play on the Raspberry app, which is, I think, one of the best apps on the market. It costs like €4 or €5, maybe €6 at the time of recording this. It's so worth it. It's so worth it to be able. There's me throwing for the bull in the start of the second game even. Just to be able to track your scores, and this tracks all my scores, well, my averages on this, and then I put it into a big spreadsheet. The Raspberry app lets you play against computers of all levels, and here I have level 14 as far as I'm aware, which averages about 75, which is just what you want, I think, is an average of a computer just above your current standard. So you can see kind of one of the things I'm working on a lot is that my darts drift a lot left as opposed. There's my first 180 there, but they drift a lot to the left, and I won that leg thankfully, but I didn't actually win. I think of the 2 games I show, I lost both of these against computer, but the thing is, you just want to be competitive and be in there. But yeah, as I was saying, one of the big things at the moment I'm trying to work on is a lot of my darts are drifting left. They don't tend to drift into the 1s, they drift into the 5s. And you might be thinking, well, 5 is better than a 1, but ideally we don't want that drift to happen at all. In this session, I got a good few ton pluses. I do like switching a lot. If I get, if I block the treble after the 3rd dart, I hit a lot of 97s. I hit a lot of 133s. I like starting on 19s as well. But yeah, a session like this is, a normal session for myself. It takes anywhere from 30 to 40 minutes. I normally do a little bit more than this on a given day. I play some games online. I do a little bit more practice on specific things, but this is all the time I had. So this is all the practice I'm going to put into today's video, but trust me, there's going to be pretty much a week's worth of practice and games and everything in between coming up. And on top of that, I will show you my last 16, or I believe it's quarter-final game from the GDL in a few days. That's going to be phenomenal. I'll at least be able to show you the results of the screenshot of that afterwards, which I'll probably put on the screen now. If I can get some highlights, I can get some highlights. But I'm hoping to win that. I'm saying that now, and you're probably going to see the results on the screen now. Hopefully I won it. It was first 4 sets. And yeah. So there you have this week's episode 1 of Path to Pro. I'll be releasing these hopefully every single week. If they do really well, I may even upload 2 a week. And next week in episode 2, I'll be going over some of my competitive games. I do have a quarterfinal, potentially semi-final in the GDL, which would be cool to show you guys. And yeah, you'll get to see everything along the way, so I'm very excited to get going. As always, as I mentioned earlier, if you did enjoy the video, please leave a like, and if you're a fan of the darts, be sure to subscribe.